What's up everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my leatherface collection, and it's kind of a collection video and then it's also kind of a reviewing video, because I'm mainly going to talk about this bad boy, but then I'll also talk about my other leatherface figures in my collection. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start things off with the original Ultimate NECA Leatherface figure. This is the first one that came out. I think this came out with the 40th anniversary of the movie. There is definitely an updated version of this figure now, which is definitely a lot more in scale with the other NECA figures, because this guy is really short. If I just dig out, like Freddy for example, if I can get in here, if I bring Freddy over here and compare him with Leatherface, they're pretty much the same size, and that really shouldn't be the case. And even if I bring in Jason for example, you can also see Leatherface is definitely a lot shorter than he is in the movie. You know, Jason's about maybe 6'3", and then Freddy, he's about 5'9" maybe. But Leatherface, he's about 6 foot like 5, 6'6". He's quite a big guy, Leatherface is. The updated figure definitely gave him a much more accurate sizing. But this older figure still is pretty good. He still holds up in my opinion. He's got the cloth apron, which I'm pretty sure the newer one gave him a plastic apron, which kind of limits his articulation just a little bit. But yeah, here's the first Leatherface. This is the box he came in. Pretty cool. Who will survive and what will be left of him? And then he also came with this pretty sick backdrop, like in Leatherface's house in the movie. With the newer one, I probably will get it at some point because of the old woman variant of Leatherface. If it was just this exact same figure again, or if it was just this same look, if it was the killing look of Leatherface with the newer one, I probably wouldn't have gotten it. But the new one does come with like a whole new alternate look for Leatherface, which is the old lady, and you do get the old lady head sculpt with this figure, which I'll show you. You do get it, but the new one also comes with the apron, which kind of makes it a lot more recognizable. And I think the head sculpt for the newer one is definitely a lot better for the old woman, and also probably with the base Leatherface mask. But this one's definitely pretty good. In some ways, this figure actually does do some things better. I think with the cloth apron, prefer that. And then also the dirtied up arms. Now, I guess the new one is probably a bit more accurate to the movie, but Leatherface for sure would have dirty arms with, you know, blood, sweat, just, you know, bits of dirt, God knows what, on his arms. And yeah, it does definitely look pretty good on this figure. And if you're wondering, you know, what meat cleaver I'm using, this is Boy Burns' meat cleaver. But just because I think it's a lot more menacing, and it's also got blood on it as opposed to the one that came with Leatherface. But there you go, that's the original figure of Leatherface. Pretty epic. Now next up, and this is kind of the main attraction of the video, it's the TCM2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, cloth Leatherface figure, which they probably will re-release at some point, because I know all the retro cloth Leatherfaces, from the first movie at least, they did re-release. I think the figures are a little bit different to the original ones. I believe they do have the updated body mold underneath the clothing. And they also do look a bit better. They don't have oversized clothes like the older ones did, or not as oversized at least. But this figure, I think they did really good. This is the this is quite an old figure as well. This guy came out in I think 2014, so he's not not really a new figure. He's definitely come out a decade ago, I know that for sure. And he's pretty cool. Something else I'd also like to mention is he comes with some really nice artwork. All the cloth figures do. And you got this really nice picture of Leatherface. I have this hung up on my wall. Or I did have, or I'm definitely going to put it back up there because this is such a cool picture, which is really nice. Then at the back, you of course have the picture of Leatherface with the read up. For a decade, Texas Ranger Lefty Enright has sought to avenge the brutal murder of his kin by the cannibalistic Sawyer family, Leatherface, Chop Top, Cook, and Grandpa. With the help of a radio DJ, who's also bent on putting an end to the terror, Lefty finds his way to the Sawyers' underground butcher shop, where a battle of epic proportions soon rages, and the line between good and evil gets chopped to bits. So, great read up of the film. And Leatherface in this movie I've always kind of chuckled over, because for a cannibalistic slaughtering maniac, he is very well dressed. I mean, he's wearing a tuxedo. He's even got a flower coming out of the pocket of his jacket there. And he's got a very nice tie going on with polished brown boots, which I find hilarious. You know, Leatherface sure is well dressed, for his line of work. And for hands, he also comes with another fisted, I believe, right hand. Yeah. So this is the smaller grip. The one he's got on is the slightly wider grip. And he comes with this, which I'm not exactly sure what this is called. If anyone knows, do let me know in the comments. It's like a chainsaw, it's electric. I know the saw moves, but it's very small. It's just kind of a one-handed weapon. I don't exactly know what it's called. And this does go into his hands pretty well. The weird thing with these cloth figures is you do kind of need to, you have to kind of adjust the weapons a little bit in order for them to fit into the figure's hands. I'll show you as well with the chainsaw. You literally have to kind of take the thing off and put it back in, but there you go. Part 2 Leatherface with his smaller handheld saw, I guess. Very nice. And then, of course, you do get the chainsaw, the saw of his family. That is great. Really detailed chainsaw you got. You got all the yellows, the oranges on the base of the chainsaw. My chainsaw is really warped, as you can see. Pretty messed up. Really not straight, but I'm sure it will still do the job. I've always known that I've been able to put hot water on this thing and probably can straighten this out, but I've just never really gotten a chance to. But what I mean with you have to kind of fumble around with the accessories is you literally need to kind of take it apart in order for it to fit into his hands. So there's these pegs on the thing that just kind of move out of place for them to go into his hands, and then they look pretty good. So we'll do that right now. I do got to be careful because they use not a very sturdy plastic for the chainsaw. But I'll show you there. Yeah, there you go. There he is with the chainsaw, looking absolutely epic. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 Leatherface probably is, I guess, my fourth favourite look of Leatherface after the looks of him from the first movie. The look of Leatherface with, his killing look, the pretty woman look, and the old granny or old woman head, or kind of, because he also wears a different apron when he's the old woman. But I do think the looks of Leatherface from the first one are definitely the best. But number 2 definitely is interesting, he's obviously got the tuxedo on. The mask is pretty cool. It does look pretty goofy. It's definitely not as scary, this version of Leatherface, as he is from the first movie. And he's also a lot thinner. You probably won't really be able to tell if I compare him to the Ultimate, because obviously the Ultimate one's a midget compared to, all other figures. But if you do compare Leatherface from number 2 to how he's in the first one, he definitely is. He's still pretty big. He definitely is a broad guy and not someone you'd want to mess with. He still is absolutely massive, but not the unit he is in the first movie. In the first movie, he's massive, you know. He's already massive as he is. He's already like 6'5", I think. But he's almost like bloody taller horizontally than he is vertically. Like honestly, he is wide. And he, you know, sprinting after you, yeah, you would not want that. But there you go, there's part 2 Leatherface. Really cool. Not much more I can really say about this figure. They did use the updated articulation actually, I will say. The body mold is definitely the better cloth body mold. This figure can definitely articulate a lot better than the cloth Jason figures that I've got. So credit to NECA for giving him a better body mold. Amazing. And then the last figure I'll showcase is this figure. The He-Man style slasher figures came out, and I've got Leatherface here as well as a Freddy Krueger one, and these guys went on like a birthday cake of mine a couple of years ago as kind of cake toppers. I'm not exactly sure what they're called. I need to search that up, but yeah, let me. So Savage World. They're called Savage World. There you go. Just remember that. Yeah, the Savage World figures. Now, when it comes to the look of these guys, usually I'd be saying, yeah, they do look a bit weird, but they are very cheap. You know, these guys are under like £10 each, so really can't complain. And they do have a pretty interesting look going towards them. You know, they've got the kind of stance and body proportions of He-Man, but it's the look of you know, Leatherface. But then he also does have kind of clothing like He-Man would have, of course, with his kind of his boots going on here. You know, all the fur. Really cool, and that just fell. But he came with the chainsaw, which I've just kind of got blue tacked in his hand, which either you can have in the kind of peg, or you can have the what is it? The mallet. I believe it's called. Yeah, that fell. I'll be right back. So yeah, the mallet, so you can see, really cool. So there you go, that's pretty much it. Definitely a much shorter video compared to my other videos on the channel, because usually on this channel I go on about action figures for absolutely ages. Like one video on my channel is about 50 minutes long, I think. I mean, it is talking about 2 figures, but even still, it is insane. If I do line them up, we'll see the 3 Leatherfaces. I'll swap this guy out with his original head, because, yeah. One thing I did do with this original figure, if you paid attention, you'll probably see that the hair came off the alternate head. When I was young, because I got this figure absolutely ages ago, this is one of my first figures from NECA. First it was part 3 Dream Warriors Freddy, then it was part 6 Jason. And I did have a few Terminators here and there, but I do remember having this figure quite early. And I was always interested, what did Leatherface look like without the mask? And I did kind of take the hair off and everything to find out. There you go, that's what it looks like. And it might look goofy, which I mean, it honestly does. But the parts honestly just kind of clip back on quite easily. They do come off, but a bit of glue will sort that out, and then also the killing mask, killing head sculpt. So I was also interested about that one. There you go. If you're ever interested about that, there you go. Doubt anyone was, but you know, might as well anyway. I know some people have done that also with the newer Leatherface figures, and they actually are a lot more detailed. I guess NECA saw it coming, you know, with people as interested as I was with wanting to know what Leatherface looked like without a mask. It's not like a proper head sculpt, but they still detail it a little bit, which is cool. I'd never have any Leatherface figure though, I don't think, at least on display without the mask, because the skin mask is what makes Leatherface iconic. But there you go. These are the 3 bad boys, looking very cool. That's about it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, take care, see you in the next one.